Hi and welcome to Bump Love Dad Edition. Always exciting to have the dads in the house. We call it the Baby Daddy Edition and we are very excited to have you today. We speak raising girls today. Happy Women's Week. It's an exciting week, Women's Week. We are power women and we speak to amazing fathers on raising girls. Raising daughters is different from raising sons, and many fathers have admitted that when raising daughters, they live in constant fear. You know, they are not sure if they're protecting them enough from the world and all the challenges it has to offer. We have one Peter Igaga. I'm sure you've seen him on TV. He's a celeb, yes. He's a seasoned moderator, a marketing practitioner, an MC, a father. Very amazing. We have Ronnie Habasa. You're a team building coach. And a celeb as well. He's a radio personality. Yes, he's a celeb as well. And we have the wonder, bearded wonder. He's called Ronnie Steven, aka Bearded Wonder, father to 3 amazing daughters. She calls them the Wonder Daughters, Wonder Girls.
Yes.
Nice to have you on the show.
Thank you. Aspiring celeb.
Upcoming celeb. Indeed. So today we talk to these amazing fathers on raising daughters, your fears, your regrets, your hopes, and anything in between there.
Well, there are very many challenges.
There are many, yeah?
It never ends. But I'll start. First and foremost, one of the things I always say is it's different. You know, I mean, it's difficult because you see, you're dealing with somebody who has their own personality. When a child is born, you have these great plans for them, and you know they're going to be great, they're going to be this, they're going to be that, and you see all those things in the child the day they're born.
Yeah.
Then as they start growing, they start forming their character. Okay? Yeah. Which usually is quite different from what you want it to be.
Yes.
Now that's where the frustration starts coming in, and that's where the fears you've talked about start coming in. Am I losing this child? Because the reality is this world is not a nice place. I always say it's a very dangerous place. It's full of very not nice people. Okay?
That's so true.
But so every time your child goes out there, you're wondering, are they safe?
Yeah.
Are they in the right hands? Are they in the right company? But it's a matter of control, because your greatest fear is, I'm not in control. I cannot be able to control this person. True. But as just before we started, I mentioned to the gentleman here, the funny thing about life is usually the things you see your children do are things that you did when you were young. Especially the not so good things. Okay. Exactly. Yeah. And then again, that's where the fear comes in, because one of the things I've always told my daughter is, I have very tough and open discussions with her, and we've had it for a long time, because I keep telling her, as a parent, my job is to be a forerunner for my children.
Just a quick one.
Yeah.
You said your daughter is, how old is she?
23.
Amazing.
Yes.
Raising women, because that's a woman. Right?
Oh yes, she is, and still raising her. Imagine.
Yes.
So because you see, as a parent, you're the forerunner.
That's
so. A lot of the things you tell your children are things you have either seen or done.
Yes.
And you know how it's going to end.
Yeah. True.
So you try to advise them, but then again, you also have to be brave enough to let them go and make some of these mistakes.
Yeah.
In as scary as it is,
that's true.
It has to happen.
Yeah.
But the beauty about raising boys in comparison to girls is boys you just beat.
Oh God, I hear you on that one. I hear you on that one. Boys, you beat. You beat sense.
So Peter has touched on an important thing there. So for me, the greatest challenge is finding that balance between you want to protect them, but you also want to prepare them for the real world, right? Because if you do too much protection, when they end up in the real world, they don't have the tools to deal with, you know, he said they are these not so good people, right? And so that's that challenge, right? So there's something which I try to do, which is, you know, before I send my daughter to the shop to buy stuff, right? I try to walk with her there and hoping she can see from my behavior how to navigate these things, right? But there are certain things that as a man, you know, they don't occur to you. There's a place we pass where there's, you know, these guys hanging out,
the
right?
drunkos,
And because I am with her, they will not behave in a funny way. Right?
Yes.
But when she eventually walks up alone,
yes,
It's going to be another story.
yes, you know, and so one time I realized, you know, she's taking a different route, and I'm like, hey,
What's happening?
well, there's a man, there
Yeah.
must be fake guys there.
Steven, how old is your eldest daughter?
She's 12 going on, no, sorry,
Oh.
she's
12 going
14, going
14.
on 15.
going on
Kids have
15.
been home
Yeah.
too long, you forget. That days have changed.
That's true.
We girls, and I normally joke and tell people I live in a girls' hostel, you know, because it's just ladies. When I come home,
you're the king.
all of them want to talk. My wife, honey, this, daddy, this, the housemaid, Uncle Scotty. Yeah. It's just, you know. So I think it's not necessarily a challenge, but because we're just different in terms of gender, I think,
That's
you know,
true.
ladies just like to talk. And you need to give everyone their due attention, from the 2-year-old, the 9-year-old, the 12-year-old. Well, I can't say my wife's age, but also that one, you know. And all of that is just dealing with these ladies, yeah. But I think I can't say it's really challenging raising, because I don't have sons to juxtapose and say it's easier with girls or easier with boys.
Okay.
But for me, it's just the whole difference. They're another gender altogether. They have different needs or different, they operate, modus operandi is very different from us as guys.
So I think my next question will be to the two of you that have both girls and boys. The approach, do you think your approach raising girls has been different from the way you would have raised your son?
I think so. So what I'm worried about with my daughters is them being comfortable in their skin and being able to deal with this world which sees them in a certain way, right?
Yeah.
And you know, you try to give positive reinforcement, right?
Yeah.
So the stories I used to read to them, if the story did not have a female hero, I would, you know, take certain artistic liberties and change the thing. And then, of course, over time, I've been trying to find, you know, positive female role models.
Yeah.
For my son, you know, that's not the problem.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about how he will treat women, because it's important to me. So
Yes,
another fun fact about me, I'm an only boy. And so while for him, when he goes into that house and he's thinking, wow, that's where I grew up, you know, that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
I was actually more nervous about, you know, if a boy now came into this thing, how shall we deal? So for him, you know, I want him to, you know, treat them with respect and know how to engage them and not be like most of us men who, you know, put them down. So that's where there's a difference.
You know, the thing is, I speak now from my side as a boy. I became a father at a very early age, and I was faced with two responsibilities. Either, because you know, human beings' reaction is either fight or flight, and that was my reality. But I stayed and handled my business. Had to fight, yes, had to fight. And I realized that I also did a lot of growing up as my daughter was growing up.
Oh, yes.
Which is not an ideal situation, but it's there, because the reality is, just as the gentleman has said, you're learning every phase is different.
Yes.
I mean,
training
along the way, because you also end up learning how to deal with them. I mean, I remember very clearly there was one time my daughter did not talk to me for almost a week, and I got concerned.
Wow.
And I actually told her, Mom, look, I think there's a problem, because we were always very, very tight. Then she just stopped talking to me. So she said, no, you take time, talk to her, because just as Ronnie has said, they like talking. So when they don't talk,
there's a problem.
Then,
just like even with the missus, when she's not talking, you're there wondering, what did I do? So I sat her down and told her, look, tell me, what is the issue? And she told me something very interesting. She said, Dad, who told you everything is about you? I was like, oh.
Wow.
I was like, okay.
Wow.
At one point, I actually thought she was 9.
Yeah.
Everything's about you. What? I'm upset about something, but it's not you.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, all right, fair enough. Now I have learned, that sometimes somebody can be angry with somebody else
and then they push it on you.
But because I'm the nearest quarters, I will get the lashing. But you see, boys are different. When I was growing up, my dad was a very strict father. He wasn't much of the talking kind of person, but he could say it without saying it.
Yeah.
Just from when we'd walk in, because he wasn't much of a talker, you'd say hi to him. the way he replies you,
Body language
would tell a lot, whether he should either take off or you can stick around. Even simple things like at the table, the way he'd conduct himself.
Yes.
So we learned a lot. Now, as boys, we are more in tune with that kind of thing. Right? So with a son, I believe, you don't have to get into all that communication so much, and you're in the best position to tell us. There are ways he can be able to pick on and be able to know, okay, now I've messed up, I need to correct myself. But then also, when it comes to the issue of positive reinforcement, it's very hard to know how far should you go. Okay, are you going to be in a situation where you are coming off as too hard? Also, are you going to come off as you are spoiling the child? Because originally, when my daughter was really young, we were very close. We used to go everywhere, tag along together. Then I actually realized I was spoiling her, because you tell her to do things and she'll just say no. And I remember very well, I hope this is not going to get me locked up, but there was one time I told her she had messed up, and I told her to go to her room. She was, I think, around 7.
Okay.
And she told me to my face, no. So I told her, no, you're going to go to your room. And she said, no, I'm not going. So I carried her and took her to her room. Got back to the sitting room, she was there. I told her, look, I've just told you to go back to your room.
So now you're on a collision course.
Yes, now it's about
what are you going to do about this?
And her mom looked and said, okay, let's see. Because she used to tell me, you're spoiling her. Okay. And you always got this feeling that, that's what mom say. That's what mom say. But she's like, no, you're spoiling her. You're letting her get away with too much. So I carry her back to her room again, close the door and come back. She's there with me.
Wow.
I said, okay, now this girl is really testing me. So I carried her for the 3rd time back. And this time,
spoiling, you're just carrying like, it's okay.
Wow.
I held the door, okay, and I felt somebody tugging. So I asked her, what are you doing? She bit my hand.
Oh, wow.
I gave her a good slap, one very good one.
That she'll never forget.
She has never forgotten up to today. She keeps reminding me, saying, Dad, do you remember that slap?
That slap.
And I keep telling her, the fact that you remember it is a very good thing.
Yes.
And she went to bed. I did not see her till the next day. But ever since that's the only time I've had to slap her.
Okay.
We built an understanding. Now, you see, boys are different. A boy, you'll beat him today, tomorrow he'll do the same thing. You beat him again, so you're going to have to keep beating him. So I don't know what's wrong with us as boys.
That's so true. First of all, like you said, it's on-job training, and most people, there's no parenting course that you do before. Well, maybe now people are a little more intentional and all. And there's a course that we've been doing with my wife, and what I'll tell you is, girls are certainly different from boys. For example, when it comes to punishment, you say, if you don't do this, this is the repercussion. Boys will want to know, what's the repercussion. So if I don't do it, I'll get what? Chiboko. How many? 3. Okay. And in his head is calculated.
Can I manage?
Whereas girls are looking at it, I say, I better not, do this because
I can't.
So boys, you'll give the chiboko. I've met parents who say, I don't, and I've beaten the boy. I've done what? Sometimes even brings this. Mommy, can I bring it? Because I know I've done this, so I need, So I guess with boys it's totally different. Whereas with girls, girls are not going to want to cross towards the punishment or to inflict pain or stuff like that. So their dynamic is very different. They say men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and it actually starts while they're still children. That girls are emotional beings, and that's the thing I've learned. Girls, words matter. How you talk to them, to be able to read the mood. My 2-year-old, even at that stage, is able to say, Daddy, I'm not happy. Why? Your wife has made me sad.
My God.
Yeah, says your wife. I'm like, what has my wife done? She's disturbing me. Why? Because she wants me to finish my porridge. I'm like, okay.
So why don't you?
And so there's that negotiation and talking and what. But then also because we communicate with words, there are times where my tone changes. I said, how many times am I going to A? And people know, Okay, this is Whereas boys, I don't know if change of tone is going to change change anything, but yeah.
So
they are
change your
different.
position.
Change your position.
That's when they know.
They see us. Listen.
So yeah.
So I've actually been lucky with my boy, and because he is the youngest.
Yeah.
And these girls have been around for a while, and we already had a way that we operate, right? So for him, once I tell him, he will obey because he has seen them obey. Yeah. So he doesn't know. He doesn't know yet. I'm sure at some point he may start saying that, but you know, all you guys just you know. But for now, at least he's, you know, he says when Daddy says, you know, when Daddy comes, and you know, people are organizing themselves. So even me, when he says, organize, like he's a baby, but who you can tell go to bed, and he goes to bed and sleeps. Because when I tell his sisters go to bed, you know, the TV is off, you know, and, you know, everyone goes to bed, which is shocking for most kids of his age, right?
I know, but, that's interesting.
So at some point he will figure it out and be like, yeah, whatever.
You remind me of the story at mine, because you're the opposite. We are the opposite. I have 3 boys and the girl came last. Wow. So the boys, when he speaks of chiboko, that's the language they hear. You get? Yeah.